Also, as well, the Chinese Communist Party's agenda with this type of research is becoming a lot more clear. One of the big questions is whether, as well, some of these policies, some of the people making these payments, we don't know who they were. Was this coming from China? Was any of this coming from China? And we do know these individuals had many deals in China, again, with the Chinese Communist Party, for example, on gain of function research and other types of research that themselves should also be investigated. Were they also receiving payments from that? This needs to be looked into. And related to that as well, just emphasizing why this should be looked into, it's because the Chinese Communist Party has made clear its intentions with these types of vaccines, with these types of policies, with these types of viruses. The NIH is helping the Chinese Communist Party develop these, including using humanized mice made from aborted fetal tissues, including, by their own admission, severed heads of infants and so on. Sickening documents that were made public. Again, you've heard about the humanized mice. They were using these laboratories where they had mice with humanized lungs so they could create viruses that could infect human lungs. NIH helping this with China. Why would the Chinese Communist Party want to create viruses that could affect human lungs? Why would they be taking existing viruses and making them more deadly? Why was the NIH involved with that research? Well, part of the NIH should be investigated, but we get an idea of what the Chinese Communist Party may have been wanted with that. And let me show you this. This is Daily Mail. China was preparing for a third world war with biological weapons, including coronaviruses, 6 years ago, 3 years before COVID-19. According to a dossier produced by the People's Liberation Army, it's the Chinese military, in 2015 and uncovered by the US State Department. Funny enough, right around the same time that NIH was doing these types of vaccine research policies with this laboratory in China that had ties to the People's Liberation Army, the Chinese military, the same one that said they wanted to prepare for a World War III using biological weapons, including coronaviruses, such as the coronaviruses they were developing through the help of the NIH. Let me read you some of this article. I'll go over a bit of this. It says Chinese scientists have been preparing for a third world war fought with biological and genetic weapons, including coronavirus, for the last 6 years. Again, 3 years prior to COVID-19 and developing possibly leading up to that. According to a document obtained by U.S. investigators, the bombshell paper accessed by the U.S. State Department insists they will be the core weapons for victory, biological weapons, that is, will be the core weapons for victory in such a conflict, even outlining the perfect conditions to release a bioweapon and documenting the impact it would have on the enemy's medical system, like what we're facing right now in the United States. Further down, it says the dossier by the People's Liberation Army, scientists and health officials, details of which were reported by the Australian, examined the manipulation of diseases to make weapons in a way never seen before, like maybe using humanized mice and taking coronaviruses and altering them through gain-of-function research to be able to infect humanized lungs, possibly, hypothetically, for example. Further in, it says this. The authors of the documents insist that a third world war will be biological. The Chinese Communist Party was saying the third world war will be biological, unlike the first two wars, which were described as chemical and nuclear, respectively. In other words, the First World War was a chemical war. Second World War turned into a nuclear war. Third World War, they were saying, would be a biological war. Referencing research which suggested the 2 atomic bombs dropped on Japan forced them to surrender and bringing about the end of World War II, they claim bioweapons will be the core weapon for victory in a third world war. Using research, again, possibly that the NIH was helping them with. And the NIH was receiving, again, secret funding from sources they're refusing to disclose as they were doing this type of research with the Chinese Communist Party in laboratories involved with the Chinese military. Again, this warrants serious investigation, the likes of which I'm limited with. We've done as much as we could. Well, we've done quite a bit. There's more to be looked into still. We actually do detail a lot of this in the documentary I did previously, investigating the Wuhan coronavirus, released soon after the virus was starting to spread. If you haven't watched it, I do recommend watching it because even though Facebook blocked it saying it was fake news and such like that, everything in it's now been proven true. We have not had to we have not had to issue any corrections on that. Everything reported has since been shown to be true. And frankly, the people who fact check us should be issuing corrections, even though I haven't seen them doing so, because everything they reported is shown to be false, frankly.